listen. Close your eyes and listen. Can you hear it? That sound, rapid, frantic, impossibly fast, is your heart. You are something so small the world can barely see you. Something so fragile the wrong gust of wind could end you. Something burning so bright, so fast, so furiously that simply existing is an act of defiance. You are a hummingbird. And you should not be alive. Not tonight. The sun is gone. The air around you has turned cold, and your body, this tiny, miraculous, terrifying engine, is running out of the only thing keeping you here: fuel. You have maybe hours, maybe less, and you cannot move. So let me tell you how you got here. Let me tell you the whole story, from the very beginning, when the world first tried to erase you, all the way to this moment, hanging in the dark, balanced on the edge of something that looks an awful lot like death. You don't remember being born. But if you did, it wouldn't feel like a beginning. It would feel like being dropped. You are a bee hummingbird, the smallest bird on Earth. You live in Cuba. Your egg was roughly the size of a coffee bean. When you hatched, you were barely larger than a bee, soft-boned, wrapped in a nest stitched from plant fibers and spider silk, clinging to a branch by a whisper. And even then, before you could open your eyes, before you could even understand cold, your body was already hungry. Your mother is gone. She has to be. If she stays too long, she starves. If she leaves too long, you starve. So she appears and vanishes, each visit just long enough to keep the spark in you from going out. And every time she leaves, the world gets quieter, colder, more dangerous. You're not the only thing out there, and most of the things out there are bigger than you, considerably bigger. You don't grow the way other birds grow. You race, because the only thing standing between you and extinction is time, and you are already losing it. Your tiny bones have to harden, your eyes have to open, your wings have to form. They have to form right now. Because if they don't, if your body can't transform fast enough, then this is where your story ends. Not in the sky, not in flight, here. In a nest the size of a walnut, in a world that never noticed you were there. But you make it. Your wings form, your eyes open, the world rushes in. And immediately, something is wrong. Well, not wrong exactly, more like on fire. Your heart is hammering, not beating, hammering, so fast it doesn't feel real. In extreme flight, your heart can push toward 1,200 beats per minute. That's 20 beats per second. For context, a resting human heart beats about once per second. Yours sounds like something that might shatter itself just to stay alive. And here's the thing no one tells you about living at that speed. It costs. Your metabolism is among the highest of any vertebrate animal on Earth, which means you wake up every single morning already in debt, already burning through energy you haven't found yet. There is no coasting, no resting on reserves, no breathing easy. You feed or you fall. It's that simple, and it's that terrifying. So you fly. Flower to flower, your wings a blur. Beating 50 to 80 times per second, hovering in midair like something that has simply decided gravity doesn't apply to it. Your tongue, impossibly fast, flicking in and out, Not like a straw, but like a tiny biological machine, snapping open to trap nectar, pulling it in over and over. You visit hundreds of flowers in a day, sometimes thousands, and you remember every single one. Which ones were full, which ones were empty, which ones were traps. Because time is fuel, and fuel is survival. And survival, here, for something like you, is always running low. Miss a few flowers, choose the wrong path, hesitate too long over a decision. The engine stalls. No warning, no slow fade. Sometimes just a sudden drop as the thing keeping you alive runs dry. Then something changes. You feel it before you understand it. The light shifts. The air goes cool. The flowers start disappearing. You are a ruby-throated hummingbird now. You were born in the higher latitudes of North America and spent your summer there. But one day, deep in your bones, something ancient is calling. Go. So you eat more than you have ever eaten before. You don't stop when you're full. Full doesn't matter anymore. You eat until your body feels wrong, heavy, unfamiliar, thick with stored fuel until your weight doubles. Then one morning, the days shorter, your hormones shifting, you rise into the air and you fly south, across the Gulf of Mexico, without stopping. There is nowhere to land. No flowers, no branches, no safety net of any kind. Just open water, flat and gray and silent, and utterly indifferent to whether you live or die. You have one shot. If you calculated wrong, if you didn't eat enough, if the winds turn against you, if the storm that was just a darkening on the horizon is worse than it looks, you fall into the water and the water takes you, and that's the end. No second chance, no try again. So you fly. Your wings beat 40, 50 times per second for hours on end, each stroke burning through the fat you spent days building. Hours pass. The shore disappears behind you. The horizon doesn't get closer. It just stays there, distant, waiting. And then the wind changes. A gust hits you sideways, then another. The sky darkens, the air thickens. A storm. Out here, it doesn't have to be a catastrophe. It just has to be enough. Enough to slow you down. Enough to make your fuel run short. Enough to turn a perfect calculation into a fatal mistake. You are suspended over an ocean that doesn't know your name. Too small to survive, too stubborn to stop. Some of you will make it. Some of you will not. To make it, you will need to cover over 500 miles of open water in a single crossing. No breaks, no stopping. So you keep flying. Now, imagine a different kind of impossible. Not ocean. Something worse in its own quiet way. You are a giant hummingbird, the largest of your kind, growing up to 8 or 9 inches long. You live in the Andes Mountains of South America, high above the tree line, where the air is thin and cold and the flowers are few and far between. 13,000 feet above sea level. Up here, each breath gives you less than it should. Less oxygen, less of everything. The nights don't just get cold, they get predatory. The cold wants what's inside you, your heat, your energy, the small fire that keeps you moving. And the flowers, the ones you depend on, are scattered, sparse, sometimes not there at all. Down below, other hummingbirds survive by going faster, by burning brighter, by throwing speed and intensity at every problem until it surrenders. Up here, that strategy will kill you. So you slow down, not from weakness, from terrible, hard-won wisdom. Your wings beat fewer times per second than smaller species. Every hover is deliberate, measured, exactly as long as it needs to be, and not a single moment more. You fly farther between meals because you have to. You conserve energy the way a miser counts coins, carefully, always aware of what's left. But even conservation has limits. Because when the sun goes down up here, the cold comes so fast, so completely, that even being still costs more than you have. And now, you're back near sea level, somewhere in the dark. You are an Anna's hummingbird, roosted somewhere along the Pacific coast. The sun is gone. There are no flowers in the dark, no nectar, no fuel. And you have a problem that would terrify you, if you had time to be terrified. If you stay awake, if you keep your heart at its normal rate, your body at its normal temperature, you will burn through your energy reserves before dawn. You will not survive until morning. So your body does something that looks, from the outside, like dying. Your heart rate plunges, not a little, not gradually, from 600 beats per minute all the way down to around 50. Your body temperature drops toward the cold air around you. Your breathing becomes so shallow, it's almost nothing. You go still, completely still. From the outside, you look like something that didn't make it through the night. This is torpor, a controlled collapse, a deliberate plunge into something that lives just on the other side of death, where your body burns almost nothing, just enough to keep the very last ember from going out. Every night you do this. Every night you let yourself fall. And every morning, if you're lucky, if the temperature didn't drop too far, if something didn't find you in the dark, if the tiny ember held, you claw your way back. Your heart pounds back to life. Your temperature climbs. The world returns all at once, loud and cold and immediate. And you are immediately behind, already in debt, already hungry. Let's be honest about something. Even if you survive the night, even if you wake up, heart thundering, temperature rising, the world is not done with you. The world, in fact, has only just started. You move fast, faster than almost anything your size. But speed doesn't make you invisible. It makes you noticeable. A flash of color, a sudden movement, a jewel catching the light at the wrong moment. A larger bird sees you and dives. You feel it a split second before it arrives. An instinct so deep it predates memory, and you jolt sideways, moving before you've even decided to move. Close, too close. You dart toward a flower, and there, stretched between two branches, nearly invisible in the morning light, a spider's web. You almost don't see it in time, and if you hit it at full speed, you won't bounce off, you'll stick. And the more you fight, the worse it gets. Even the sky betrays you. Sudden gusts, unexpected storms, rain that hits like a barrage when you're trying to hover. Then there are surfaces that reflect the world so perfectly, you fly toward them before you realize they're solid. No predator, no warning, just a terrible mistake. And then, nothing. You are one of the most capable flyers on Earth. And you are also, always, one error away from disappearing. Sometimes the end comes slowly. Injury, disease, the gradual grinding down of a body pushed past its limits. If you're lucky, you may get 3 years or more. But sometimes it ends suddenly. Sometimes there's just a morning that's slightly colder than expected, a patch of flowers that's already been picked clean, a headwind that wasn't supposed to be there. You burn a little more than you planned, just a little. And at first, you compensate. You always do. That's what you're built for. The constant recalibration, the endless adjustment. You are an optimizer by nature. But the deficit compounds, quietly, invisibly. Your body is keeping account you can't see. Your wings feel heavier, your reactions slow. Barely, almost imperceptibly, just enough to matter. The distance between flowers feels longer than it should. You keep going. You have to. And then, with no warning, no dramatic moment, no last gasp, you hover in place 1 second too long. The fuel runs out. Your wings falter, just slightly. Your body drops, just a little. And then, gravity. Quiet. Final. Unremarkable. Maybe no one sees it. Maybe nothing notices. For all the speed, all the brilliance, all the impossible things you survived, the end is small. This is the price of living at the edge. You don't fade. You simply stop. You were born smaller than the world could see. You outran starvation every single day of your life. You crossed open water on nothing but stored fat and stubbornness. You breathed thin mountain air at altitudes that should have broken you. You died every single night, voluntarily, deliberately, and came back every single morning. You were hunted by the sky, caught by things you couldn't see, one mistake away from vanishing at any moment, every moment. And still, you flew. Not carefully, not slowly, not with any margin for error. Brilliantly. Here's the truth that makes hummingbirds unlike almost anything else on Earth. You were not built to last. You were built to burn. And there is something almost unbearably beautiful about that. A creature whose entire existence is a refusal to slow down, to soften, to accept the limits of what a body this size should be able to do. You were never supposed to survive. Not for long. But for a moment. A brief, impossible, incandescent moment. You did. And in that moment, you were the fastest heart, the most furious life, the most extreme creature this quiet planet has ever had the privilege of hosting.